We knew this was coming. We knew this was coming. And this is why I find it very difficult to give a fuck about anyone who played around with this election. I don't give a fuck about Latinos being hunted down by ICE. They led us to this point. I don't give a fuck about never Kamala Harris leftists who are talking about us needing to come together because now we're at war. I don't give a fuck about a MAGA nut who is losing his farm. I don't give a fuck about a MAGA nut that has lost his job. I don't give a fuck about a MAGA nut whose SNAP benefits have been canceled. I don't give a fuck about a purple revolution. This is why.
Well, he's going to get a third term. So Trump 28, Trump is going to be president in 28, and people just ought to get accommodated with that.
So what about the 22nd Amendment?
There's many different alternatives. At the appropriate time, we'll lay out what the plan is, but there's a plan, and President Trump will be the president in 28. We had longer odds in 16 and longer odds in 24 than we got in 28. And President Trump will be the president of the United States, and the country needs him to be president of the United States. We have to finish what we started. And the way we finish it through Trump. Trump is a vehicle. I know this will drive you guys crazy, but he's a vehicle of divine providence. He's an instrument. He's very imperfect. He's not churchy, not particularly religious, but he's an instrument of divine will. And you can tell this of how he's pulled this off. We need him for at least one more term, right? And he'll get that in.
This is not a distraction from the Epstein files. This is not just to get people riled up. This is their plan. Donald Trump is remodeling the White House as if it's his house. They don't plan on leaving the White House. The only way Donald Trump plans to leave the White House is when he dies. He's going to be carried out by 6 in his mind. To each and every individual out there who used your platform with hundreds of thousands of followers to steer people away from voting from Kamala Harris to vote third party or to vote for Donald Trump or to not vote at all, you brought us to this point. I don't care if you're black, white, Latino, you all brought us to this point. You brought us to this point. You brought us to a point where we have to fight when we didn't have to. We are fighting to the death at this point. And they have the power, and you ushered that in. I don't care if you voted for Kamala Harris in the end, especially if you used your platform to encourage others not to vote for Kamala Harris. This is a 5-alarm fire. This is not a joke. You need to take these people seriously. They do not plan to relinquish power, period. You brought us to a point where, in my opinion, it's going to take ultimate bloodshed. And if I'm right, I hope they you know what? I'm going to end it here.